It's year end and time to reflect on the many exciting developments that came to fruition in 2015. And in case all the late night partying and late night slogging to meet those final deadlines has left you feeling a little foggy, we have the perfect roundup already prepared. So sit back and feast your eyes on the Nanotech Web highlights of 2015. Commercialisation of nanotechnology launched into the spotlight at the beginning of the year when we spoke to Nanoco about their TVs enhanced with cadmium-free quantum dots that were set to launch within the year. And light-based technologies remained in the foreground throughout the year with our celebrations of the International Year of Light, which included a web movie series looking at different nanophotonics research in labs around the world. The International Year of Light celebrations rounded off with a discussion webinar where we invited authors of 4 papers in the current nanotechnology nanophotonics focus collection to briefly present their work for attendees of the webinar to then question and discuss. You can still catch the discussion under the webinar tab on the nanotechnology homepage. Among the highlights in nanoelectronics was work looking at the dependence of power delivery efficiency and self-heating on the optical properties of plasmonic near-field transducers. And alternative computing came under the radar in research for the focus collection on creating novel materials on the basis of mathematics and nanoarchitectonics. We looked at nanowires adapted to behave like neural synapses, where the emergent characteristics of the networks are analogous to adaptability and memory for possible applications in computing, as well as work to extract the essential spatiotemporal dynamics that allow an amoeboid organism to solve a computationally demanding problem and adapt to its environment. And Adam Mikulich from the University of New South Wales talked to us about a horizontal architecture for nanowire transistors so that adding multiple gates need not multiply the number of fiddly fabrication steps.
And so what people want to do is make arrays of these nanowire transistors, and each of these nanowire transistors have a gate wrapped around them all the way around the channel. And for us, it was really just let's play with this idea and see if we can do that in the horizontal orientation.
Progress was made in downsizing nanoelectronics at IBM. And we spoke to Sasha Kashchievs about single electron transistors.
First of all, single electrons and metrology. So what do you do? What do you do with electrons? You count them. And if we count them in a precise and controlled way, we can ensure that a stream of electrons, when they're launched at a certain frequency, delivers an average current very precisely tied to the frequency, which is one of the most accurate things in physics ever, and the fundamental constant of elementary charge. So one of kind of major goals for quantum electrical metrology is to build precisely such kind of quantum limited current source. And what I see now that the types of approaches that have been developed with this specific applied purpose in mind now are having new and unexpected applications, first of all, to more basic science, and secondly, more broadly, I think electron now is approaching a leading role or a central role in designing new types of electronic circuits.
One of the highlights in biology and medicine was our focus on DNA sequencing techniques using nanostructures. As part of the focus, we visited Jan Lindross's lab at KTH Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm to see some of their work on optical sequencing techniques for increasing throughput.
And here we try to do the DNA sequencing using nanopores. So here we have this silicon-based chip. So on that we have an array of thin membranes, and on each membranes we have an array of nanopores that we can do we're trying to do the DNA sequencing on this. So here we have this bubble cell which is made for mount this chip for the DNA sequencing experiment. So this is the upper part of it, and we mount the chip in between the upper chamber and with the lower chamber.
Researchers at the University of California, Los Angeles and the California Nanosystems Institute developed ultra-thin flexible metal oxide semiconducting thin films for use in wearable or implantable biosensors. And in case you needed any more encouragement to drink more caffeinated hot drinks, an efficient carbon capture material was produced from the dregs of a mug of coffee. Nanomaterial characterization made a breakthrough as researchers at Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology combined the high-resolution imaging capabilities of transmission electron microscopy, helium-ion microscopy, and scanning probe microscopy with the unique high-performance chemical sensitivity of secondary ion mass spectrometry. And as always, there was plenty to report in carbon nanomaterials and 2D materials, including superconducting properties both in doped graphene and by using a well-known lithiation technique in molybdenum sulfide nanosheets.
We're gonna take a 5 ml of butyl lithium using a very clean syringe. 5 ml approximately. The chemical has to fill into the vial, and enough amount should be there so that the substrate soaks into the vial.
What a year! And if there wasn't so much to look forward to, you'd almost feel a little sad to see it end. But coming up, we are brimming with anticipation for the celebrations of the 30th anniversaries of both the first paper in atomic force microscopy and the Nobel Prize in scanning tunneling microscopy. Two technologies that literally launched nanotechnology. We'll be talking face to face with researchers all around the world who are leading in these techniques to hear what they feel have been the most exciting developments in the past 30 years. And looking at nanotechnology today, there are now a number of listed products with nanoparticles in them. And the all-important question is, where do they end up? As well as looking in depth at the default life cycle of a nanoparticle, we'll also look at how we can manipulate their course for targeted drug delivery and RNA interference medicine. And then energy. Well, COP21 might be in the bag to a certain extent, but alternative energy resources are an all-important question still. We'll be looking at the role of nanostructures in supercapacitor technology for alternative energy storage techniques, as well as ways of generating energy, such as solar cells. So much to look forward to, and half of it we could never even foretell. So stay tuned, and for 2016, Happy New Year!